Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a great weekend and welcome to the Word on the Street. Before I forget to mention this, on this video, we are going to pick the winner of the 3 ounces of silver from last Monday's video. So remember that every Monday, from now until the end of this calendar year, I'm going to be giving silver away every single Monday. So make sure that you watch the videos and that you enter to win because it is 100% free. Now, I have a lot of very relevant news and stories to go over with you today, ladies and gentlemen. But first, I want to say thank you very much to the company that's given me all of this silver to give away and the sponsor of this video, Alpha Omega Gold. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know that I've spent years helping people prepare for uncertain times through practical action coupled with real-world solutions, and most importantly, faith. One of the smartest steps I've taken over the years is moving part of my savings into physical gold and silver. And that's why I've decided to partner with Alpha Omega Gold. They help people like you and me protect what we've earned over the years instead of letting it burn in the inferno of inflation. Alpha Omega Gold helps you protect your wealth by safely holding it outside the system through direct physical delivery of your precious metals in your hands or with a gold and silver IRA. So why did I decide to partner with Alpha Omega Gold? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I talked to the owner at hand. I did my research and found out that they have a great Better Business Bureau rating, and they are very charitable and a faith-based organization. They help guide you with patience and understanding with your personal circumstances, so it's tailored to you. They truly represent honesty and integrity built on biblical values, trust, and personal preparedness. If you're concerned about inflation, central bank control, or the weakening dollar, give Alpha Omega Gold a call at 855-426-4653 or simply click on the link that I'm going to leave on a pinned comment and or the description of this video. And in case you didn't catch the video where I featured myself turning over a cashier's check for $4,800 to the Fairbanks Food Bank, it was Alpha Omega Gold that donated that money, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, thank you very much, Alpha Omega Gold, for looking out for your community. Let's just hope that the turkeys that the food bank got this year were not approved by the FDA, ladies and gentlemen. The FDA is allowing unlabeled cloned meats into the U.S. food supply without proper safety reviews, ignoring ethical and health concerns. And of course, it's a health concern, but also an ethical concern at that, because don't you want to know what's in the food that you're eating, ladies and gentlemen? Don't you think that ought to be something that should be a right for the consumer to know what they are eating? But I guess the FDA doesn't think so, because the FDA's refusal to mandate labeling reflects regulatory capture by big agribusiness, prioritizing profits over transparency and us, the consumers' rights. And here they continue to say that corporations and globalists like the WEF are promoting insect-based foods as part of a controlled, nutrient-poor diet while elites retain access to real organic food. Do you really think that the elites and that the people that pass these regulations are eating cloned meats? Do you think that they're eating insects? Probably not, at least not by choice. Under Trump and RFK Jr., the Make America Healthy Again movement has pressured food companies to remove harmful additives, but cloned meat remains unchecked. One thing that I've been noticing this year is that there's been a lot of progress being done in certain areas, but there's also been areas where our rights are just being dismantled, this one being one of them. And, I encourage you to take a look at what's going on with the Second Amendment right now. Maybe I'll cover that on one of these week's news stories. And I've been telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's only a matter of time. Once we get this digital ID that they're going to push on us and the digital wallet that they're going to make us have if we want to transact in the economy, there are going to be people-less stores and there are going to be robots at the door securing the entrance and exit to ensure that you paid for your goods. Police departments deploy weaponized robot dogs amid civil liberties concern. Now, it's not as bad as what I think it's going to get right now, but the camel has gotten his nose in the tent. Boston Dynamics Spot robot, valued at about $100,000, is now deployed in 60 plus U.S. and Canadian bomb squads and SWAT teams. And that's a good thing, because doing that kind of a job is going to help to save lives. All right, and it's used in hostage situations, bomb threats, and hazardous environments, replacing human officers in high-risk scenarios. Again, that is a good thing. That is we using technology for a good reason. What for? To save lives and to serve the people. However, critics warn of creeping authoritarianism, comparing robotic policing to dystopian surveillance states. And that's what is going to end up happening. They already have robot guard dogs at like big hotels. They already have robot police scanning the streets in China. Eventually, every government wants to have full control of its people, and the closer that the financial system comes to crashing, because every single financial system or fiat currency that's ever existed has gone to zero. So the closer that that currency comes to crashing, the more authoritarian that a government has to get in order to stay in control, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a matter of fact. All you have to do is study history. New York Police Department's DigiDog program was suspended in 2021 due to public backlash, but reintroduced by Mayor Eric Adams, sparking renewed debate. Civil rights groups argue that these robots normalize militarized policing while lacking accountability. Well, someone's going to be accountable if that robot does something wrong. However, do you really want a robot in the streets telling you what to do? Because you know what's going to be in charge of telling that robot what to do? Eventually, it will be AI. So there won't even be a human behind the robot to be accountable, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a computer telling that robot to tell you what you can and can't do. While Boston Dynamics bans weaponizing Spot, other companies like Ghost Robotics have developed armed robot dogs. ICE has already purchased a $78,000 robot capable of deploying smoke bombs, raising fears of escalation and crowd control. Now, if that robot can deploy smoke bombs, do you think that they maybe can arm it with something else for it to deploy? I would say that they can. I never thought that in the United States of America, socialism would be accepted as much as it is today. And I don't really need to get into this story, but all we have to do is take a look at this picture right here. So out of the 435 members of Congress, only 285 voted that, hey, we don't need socialism in the United States. It should be denounced. Right? Because that's not what we were founded upon. We were founded upon freedom, and socialism is the opposite of being free, ladies and gentlemen. You want to be a socialist? You have the opportunity in the United States to be a socialist. You can go somewhere where you are going to get fed 3 meals a day. You will be able to exercise. You'll more than likely be able to read all the books that you want. You could probably get a college education for free. You can get commissary privileges. You can get yard privileges every single day. You will be very safe. You will get all of the medical benefits, eye care, dental, all of it for free at the taxpayer's dime. It's called a maximum security prison. That is the best example of socialism that there is. If you want it, it's out there. You can go and have it. But why push it on everyone who just wants to be free? We want to be free. We want to be able to prosper off of the sweat of our own brow. Anyways, I'm getting carried away. So let's get to the next story. And another great idea, ladies and gentlemen, by this person who was dating a Chinese spy for I don't know how many years, but now he wants to let people vote by phone.
I want us to be able to vote by phone. I think every Californian
vote by phone.
Vote by phone. Yeah, if we can do our taxes, do our make our healthcare appointments, make essentially do your banking online, you should be able to vote by phone.
And let me tell you what, not only do I think it's a terrible idea to do that, I think we ought to go back to the way that it was when my dad used to vote back in like the late 70s and the 80s. I remember those times. I went with him a couple of times. You know, I spent a little bit of time with him going for him to cast his vote after he got his naturalization, after he got his citizenship. And it used to be by paper all the time. And I remember back then that the vote was counted and we knew who the president was before the end of the evening. Why can't we do that today? And remember, ladies and gentlemen, before I even forget, before the end of this video, I'm going to go ahead and pick the winner of the person that won 3 ounces of silver from last Monday's silver giveaway. And on this video, which is the entry video, you're going to win 4 ounces of silver. So someone is going to win 4 ounces. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a $200 bill right now, roughly, all right? Give or take a couple of dollars. But that's awesome. So stand by and we'll get that done here in the next couple of minutes as soon as I'm done yapping. And ladies and gentlemen, to finish it off, a conspiracy theory that is no longer a conspiracy theory. Geoengineering is no longer just a theory. And oh wow, I'm so surprised how many of you thought that it was a conspiracy theory or that it was actually happening. It's been happening for decades. They're just now fessing up to it. And you know what I think? This is me thinking out loud. You know how they're coming out with a lot of things like geoengineering, no longer just a theory. The FDA is approving cloned meats without it having to be labeled. Therefore, you don't know what you're going to be eating. I think that they're letting these stories out on purpose and admitting to these things on purpose. Why? I think that there's something a lot bigger in the background than this. So things that we were talking about years ago that were called conspiracy theories, now they're coming out and admitting to that stuff. But why? What does it serve them? And what I mean by them is the people that make the rules, the people that want to rule over us. How does it serve them for them to admit to this kind of stuff? Well, I think it's because in the background, there's some stuff going on that's a lot bigger than this. And that's why I say always stay prepared. And now, let me get off my soapbox. Let me go ahead and give away 3 ounces of silver for last Monday's video, all right? And you know what? Let me just tell you right now. For this video, in order for you to enter to win 4 ounces of silver, all you have to do is leave a comment with the word theory, all right? Theory. Leave a comment with the word theory, and that'll be the word that I use next week in order to filter out whoever wanted to enter, and you will win 4 ounces of silver if you're the lucky one that gets chosen. But let's go ahead and give away last week's. Let's see who the winner is. Here is our random comment picker. I'm going to go ahead and paste on last week's video. That's the URL. All right, it's loading. 100, 200. All right, 400. Wow, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone that entered. We had 1,250 eligible comments, and it's as easy as this. As long as you have alpha in your comment, you will win. That place, the Kelly Bus 789. That place, the Kelly Bus 789. Congratulations, you just won yourself 3 ounces of silver. All you have to do is send me an email to this email address right here or right here. I'm not sure where it's going to show up. All right, send me your name, your address, and I'll go ahead and ship it out to you. When I ship it out to you, I'll send you the tracking number so you can track it. If you live overseas, I will still send it to the address you give me. I will take a picture of the package before I drop it off or with the postage. That way you know that I mailed it. And whatever happens, happens, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So I'm not going to remail everything because let me tell you what, postage is pretty darn expensive. I didn't know that inflation took a hold of postage as well. And again, thank you very much, Alpha Omega Gold, for making it possible for me to give silver away for the holidays. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I love you all. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.